Antioxidants are the most important thing you can do when it comes to combating not only daily stresses, which we're all subject to, but especially the environment. We now live in a time where chronic disease is on the rise, and in terms of what happens to your cells in your body, you have things like radiation, you have things like pollution, which basically cause the cells of your body to oxidize. What does that mean? Well, if you consider what happens for a car, if you just left a car and didn't do anything with it, it would start to rust. And essentially our bodies do the same thing. And that rusting process is just a natural consequence of living. Every time we eat something, just the process of digesting food produces free radicals. So the only things we really have to kind of mitigate that process, or to reverse that process to keep our cells young and healthy, are antioxidants. Antioxidants are found in fruits, vegetables, especially tea, and nowadays there are nutraceutical companies who extract antioxidant compounds from their original components. For example, if you had chlorogen or resveratrol, these things are found in specific plant compounds, and then they extract those antioxidants, which are then going to have enormous health benefits. And the science has basically confirmed that without these antioxidants, we are more susceptible to aging and a lot of diseases that are associated with the main things that cause oxidation, which would be diet, your environment, and lifestyle factors. But the number one factor that causes oxidation is always going to be diet. Just by improving your diet, your body will oxidize less quickly because of the nature of the foods that you're eating. You get foods that are very oxidizing, such as fast food, which will age you very quickly and also set you up for a lot of chronic diseases and problems. When people are consuming these foods, they don't necessarily realize what's actually happening to the cells of their body. Another thing that's very important to understand is your cells. When we're talking about a human body, what we're really talking about is an assembly of trillions of cells. And if you know how to treat one cell, then you know how to treat all your cells. What's good for one cell is going to be good for all the cells in your body. What that means is we really want to consider the importance of the environment of a cell. There's a whole study, a whole subject devoted to that, and that's called epigenetics. And what actually happens is when you start to influence and change the environment of a cell, you bring about epigenetic changes. Say someone is susceptible to cancer or heart disease because it runs in your family. In other words, you have genetic heritage that doctors would say you've got a good chance of X and X. Well, the truth is that that may well be the case, but those things won't necessarily manifest. In fact, they won't manifest if your environment for the cell is healthy. In other words, we all carry the potential for all these problems, but they are only brought up. The strand in your DNA is only really activated when the environment becomes toxic, or when the conditions of the environment for your cells are ripe for that condition to express itself. That's why I will tell people, don't worry about your DNA. Do not worry about your heritage. In terms of health, it does not matter what your father or your mother had or how you were born. Your past doesn't matter. Only really what matters is what you do today and how you continue to live in the future. When we're talking about cells, we want to encourage cells to be healthy, which means we need to consider the environment of our cells. Now we live in a time where most of the cities in the world are polluted, and what's happening is that's increasing oxidation of our cells, increasing the oxidation of our bodies. People are going to get more chronic inflammatory diseases. So chronic inflammatory diseases are only going to increase. Cancers are going to increase. Heart disease is going to increase. I've said this many times. I've posted it I don't know how many times, but the leading cause of death in the world is still cardiovascular disease. It's still heart disease. And cancer is not too far behind. And these things won't go away. They're a consequence of the way that we, not only the way that we live and what we eat, but just being in our present day society, what we're exposed to, where we have all these pollutants in the air. And just like Chernobyl, you guys, you had to go and sort out that mess. You can't see the radiation, but once they've exposed themselves to it in that water, everything can seem fine on that day, but a few days later, they are suffering the most horrific consequences due to radiation. Now, that's a very quick and small glimpse into what the long-term implications are for the average human beings. For all of us, just by being in a city or where we're living, the environment is going to influence the cells of our bodies. It's more important now than ever that people pay particular attention to trying to reverse that, which would be something called anti-mutagenic activity, which is basically stopping the cells from turning cancerous, or stopping cells from becoming, from expressing unhealthy things in the DNA or aspects of our DNA that are undesirable. So the truth is that you can't cure any of these things. You can only manage them. It's like all of us, you can imagine from the time we're born, already have cancer. You can imagine us all having these chronic inflammatory diseases. We're born with them. So there's no point saying, oh, he's got this, he's got that. No one has any of that. It doesn't work like that. What you want to focus on is increasing the health of your cells. Antioxidants are one of the best ways to do that, if not the best way to do that, because what antioxidants do is they specifically target the effects of oxidation, in effect reverse or begin to reverse the effects of oxidation. That would mean that your risk from being in a polluted city would be greatly reduced by antioxidants. Your impact of daily stresses from work or from sports, also antioxidants are very important. A lot of athletes, professional athletes included, don't take enough of attention into the importance of antioxidants. If you go on a heavy run or do anything where you're really using your body, you're putting your body under a lot of stress. And that kind of stress can actually age your body a lot faster. Antioxidants are very, very important for athletes, very important for busy people. But I want to make it very clear that what most people refer to as stress is really emotional stress. And that kind of stress is not the stress that we want to be concerned with. We want to be concerned with oxidative stress, because oxidative stress is the stress that will kill you, is the stress that will give you a serious life-threatening disease, and is something that will decrease your longevity. Antioxidants are absolutely vital in today's world in terms of being able to be young and healthy and live disease and problem free. And really that's what I obviously am most focused on, is for people to be able to be healthy on a long-term basis. It's just very important to be aware of the fact that you're comprised of trillions of cells, and that the blueprint for each cell has your endocrine system, your respiratory system, it has your digestive system. Just one cell has the intelligence to build whatever it needs to. All our systems in the body, whether it's a heart or a lung, whatever system we all have the same systems. The only things that really differ in human beings are the outer appearance. To have an understanding of ourselves on a cellular level is one of the most important things you can have. And antioxidants are going to be your number one tool in fighting off disease and aging.